So today I was excited to do a video, and normally I'm quite nervous about doing these videos. They're not scripted, I don't read from anything, I just sort of spew them out, you know, it just comes off the top of my head, and I think it's more natural and it's from the heart, I suppose, and I probably could do them better if I scripted them and, you know, read someone else's work out, but it's about different things. And I'm not keeping this one in, this is annoying. Should be a dancer. If I keep that in, I'll be very embarrassed. Or cut that bit out. So I want to talk about positive affirmations, and we need to work on our self-esteem. One of the things that's important, if we're going to do some back against the bully, that's mental health or OCD or whatever your demon is, we need to improve our positive opinion of ourselves. Because if you're like me, I think I quite often get a bollocks. Habits today, never mind. If you're like me, I quite often have a negative opinion of myself, and I try not to. I do have low self-esteem. And we've talked about this, it's not confidence. I can be confident in things, but my opinion of myself from things that have happened and growing up and mental health issues caused me to have a low self-esteem. So, come here. It's still feral. Getting better. I want to see if we can improve your self-esteem and my self-esteem. And I know this works, I've done this in the past. Positive affirmations have been proven to be really powerful. I've heard lots of things like this. But I believe that once they got 10 athletes and they were doing the long jump, and they were all quite capable of jumping a certain distance. And they did some studies on these people. And what they did is they got them all to line up and to attempt this jump that they were capable of doing. It wasn't easy, but they were capable of doing. Before they did it, they got each athlete to say to themselves, I am weak, I cannot do this, and they kept on saying it and saying it and saying it. And then every athlete took the jump, one at a time. And I believe, roughly speaking, it was probably about 30% of them achieved the jump. So that means 7 failed. And then the next day they did the same test. So they brought the athletes back out and they got them to say positive things to themselves. I am strong, I am fast, I can do this jump. I am all these positive things. So they were doing these positive affirmations basically. And then every athlete did the jump. And basically I believe the results, you probably look them up online, I think it was about 80% of people did it. So on the first run, when they felt rubbish, after putting themselves down mentally, 3 managed to do the jump. And on the second run, when they were fed with positive thoughts and encouragement, basically about 7 or 8 of them did the jump. I'm having a lot of twitches today for some reason, so it's really annoying me. I'm struggling today for some reason. I'm going to cut a few of them out because it's going to slow me down. So, I don't know why. It's exhausting when you get, as Tourette's says, it's exhausting when that kicks in. That does go to show us all that when we're told positive things, they work. I think we're all grown up enough to know that negative things are discouraging. And positive, don't keep scratching my new sofa, sweetheart. And positive things can be really encouraging. I know positive affirmations do work. And I know they're hard work. And I know that you've got to actually put the hard work in to do them. You won't get anything out if you don't put anything in. And not only that, I actually strongly believe for my own life that if you don't put anything in, not only do you not get anything out, I think you start to get worse and worse and worse. And this bully that's OCD, Tourette's, whatever mental health issue, depression, anxiety, all of these things, starts to compound and starts to wear you down. It just starts to burden you, make your load heavier, so in fact you're on your knees and then you're just flat on your face. You just can't even get up. And it's a reality for some people, and I've felt quite low in times where it's gotten bad. And I know that some of you out there have experienced losses, loved ones, and terrible things, because the pandemic has brought with it an incredible strain on people, especially if they already had mental health problems. There's been lots of losses. I know 3 good friends of mine who've died recently, and there's people out there who love them and are struggling. So this video is for you. And this morning I'm going to do some positive affirmations with you. It's going to be embarrassing for me to do, to actually say them, because I have to say the same thing 10 times with love and sincerity to a piece of technology, which I believe is actually just a window to you. And I don't really know you, but I'm going to do these for you because I've done them to myself. And I'm going to remind myself to do them. When I say them, they're going to be for me as well. And I'm going to take the same action that I'm encouraging you to take. So I'm just going to do a couple positive affirmations, I think. And another thing I've done with these is I've got a post-it note and I've written them down. Fuck me bollocks. And I've written them down. I know why I'm having more Tourette's things. It's because I'm actually feeling more comfortable with talking to you. And that's something I'm going to have to think about when I edit this. It's embarrassing as well. So if I feel more comfortable, then I don't feel the pressure to oppress things so much. So it'll be interesting to see if I put this out unedited with the embarrassments of Tourette's. I want to improve your self-esteem, and I want you to say these things with me and believe them, because you are a good person. If you're here, you are a good person. You want to change your life, no matter what you've done in the past. And that's going to be fantastic. I've already seen a very small sign of improvement from my win I made at the weekend. And I'm going to tell you a positive affirmation. I'm going to say it to you 10 times. And I want you to hear it, repeat it if you want to. I want you to believe it, because it is true. And if there's a part of your brain that is telling you, oh, this is stupid, I'm not a good person, then that really means that there is part of your mind that's full of negativity, and it needs to be washed with this positivity. It's the only way I can describe it. The positive affirmation is going to be, you are a good and loving person. I'm going to say that to you 10 times now on the camera. So if you don't want to hear it, just scan forward or go to another video. I have to do it because this is a relationship and I want to do this live with you. This might not be for everybody. So, and you are a good person. You've come here today, you're watching this video, you've got this far. You want to make improvements in your life. It doesn't matter what you've done in your past. We've all hurt people, we've all upset people, we've all done things that are wrong. This isn't about judgment. This is about improving our minds and making a step from where we are right now into the future, not looking at the past. So, I'm nervous about doing this. So, you are a good and loving person. You are a good and loving person. You are a good and a loving person. You are a good and you are a loving person. You are a good and you are a loving person. You are a good and loving person. You are a good and loving person. You are a good and you are a loving person. You are a good and loving person. You are a good and you definitely are a loving person. And I think that's about 10 times. Just take that in, soak it in, believe it, just believe it. No matter if you feel like you're not a loving person, you are a loving person. We're all loving people. We have compassion and love in us. It's clouded by bitterness, hatred and resentment because of the things that have come into our life. The way that we've been treated, the way that we've felt, the way that we feel that we've been pushed around and bullied by OCD, and the consequences it's made in social dynamics where people have judged us or treated us differently. We're not the only ones who've been bullied and treated badly and objectified or isolated. But by saying these things, let them soak in. Get a post-it note, write that down. You are a good and a loving person. Just write it down, it's precious. Put it somewhere where no one's going to see it but you. In your car, in the thingy-me-bob that pops down where the mirror is. I used to do that. When I felt rubbish, I'd pull it down and I would say, I am Jonathan, you are good. I am a good and a loving person. I didn't feel good. I felt bad. I didn't feel I was loving. I felt lonely and unlovable. But say it because it works. It gets into your subconscious and it is true. There's nobody that is not loving. There's nobody that isn't fundamentally good, no matter what you've done. We're all good and loving people and we need to really, really drum that into ourselves. So I'm going to leave that there and I'll really be very interested to see whether it yields some results and what you think of it.